It's a cheery Monday. We've begun with good news and it has flowed through. Speaking of good news, we began by celebrating the release of 360 kidnapped victims in Borno State by troops of Operation Hadinkai yesterday. And let's get further insight into this rescue mission. And we have joining us virtually this morning from Borno, the Commissioner for Information and Internal Security in the state, Professor Usman Tar, who joins us virtually this morning. Professor Tar, good morning, sir, and welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning, thank you.
Yes, so we've been talking quite a lot about this, but we need more insight. Help us confirm that out of this 360 victims that have been rescued, the Ngoshe victims are part of them. And perhaps you want to give us further details into this rescue mission.
Well, acting on credible intelligence from the Directorate of State Services, and also military intelligence, the officers and men of Operation Hadinkai carried out a daring operation that led to the release of 360 victims of the Ngoshe kidnap. And it was a very successful operation. Sadly, we lost 2 children during the operation. Otherwise, it was a very successful operation. And the victims have already been transported to Pulka, where the Ngoshe people are resident now, pending their return to Ngoshe town. We are carrying out health assessment and psychological assessment of the victims. Any moment from now, the governor of Borno State, His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulu, will be visiting the victims in order to share happy moments with them and share their moments of torment and how best the state can provide support and also to forestall any future occurrence. So we are in a celebration mood here in Borno State this morning and yesterday.
Okay, we would like further details into the intelligence that led to this, and of course the reports as far as the terrorists who were in this camp are concerned. We gather that some of them scampered for safety when the invasion began by troops of Operation Hadinkai. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the report we received from the military shows that the operation was conducted consistent with the laws of armed conflict and the extant laws, military laws here in Nigeria. And care was taken in order to ensure that all the victims were rescued from the terrorists. And in doing so, the military had to cordon the area of operation, and they had to carry out surgical operation, so much so that only 2 victims were lost. And those victims were lost as a result of stress and dehydration, not a stray bullet or something like that. And we also received the good news that a number of the terrorists were also neutralized.
How many specifically?
We can't tell. Battle assessment is ongoing.
Okay. And just before I yield to my colleagues, talk to us about the 44 children kidnapped in Askira Uba, specifically from Musa Primary and Junior Day Secondary School.
Well, the victims are still in the hands of the terrorists, and we don't want to go into the details of how we are going to salvage them, but I can assure you that efforts are ongoing in order to salvage them. And so far, the governor of Borno State has personally visited the community and he commiserated with the people and assured them that all the children, 48 of them then, will be rescued. And after that, 2 more delegations visited the Uba and the people of Musa. And so far, we have received full cooperation from the communities and the traditional ruler of Uba and his councils, members of the council, and the local government, they have all given us their full cooperation. And the military unit is already stationed in Musa, and there is ongoing operation around Musa. And we know that the terrorists may have run off with the victims to other locations. So we are leaving, the armed forces are leaving no stone unturned in order to make sure that those victims are returned unconditionally.
Commissioner, let's talk about a bit of auditing and mapping, if you will. Let's talk about, from the record you have, how many people are still in captivity besides the, I think, 40-something children and women that were abducted? Are there others that are still in captivity from Borno State that you are aware of?
Well, we have even the Ngoshe victims. You know, the terrorists have a tendency to keep their victims in different locations and in cells. So the 360 is not the complete number. It's just the ones that we salvaged, rescued from one operation. There may be other victims. It is very difficult to trace, apart from the bulk kidnaps that they did. They also carry out kidnap of individuals on a daily basis, and those individuals were tracing the numbers. So it is unsafe to give a specific number, but we are aware that there may be more victims. But the bulk has been rescued so far, and we will not rest on our oars until the last of our victims is released unconditionally.
In your view, Prof, what makes Borno very susceptible to incidents of terrorism and all of these terrorist activities in that state?
Well, as you know, Borno is the epicenter of the Boko Haram terrorism. And the terrorists carry out these kidnaps in order to fund, in order to, they try to, they try to do hostage negotiation, but we have always refused that. They do that on small scale as well. So Borno is the epicenter of terrorism, but it is safe to also say that this kidnap issue is a national problem. It is not only restricted to Borno. We have the same situation in other locations too. But Borno appears to be endemic because it is the center point of counter-insurgency campaign. And we have the terrorists are spread in all over the northern part of the state in small cells. And there is an ongoing operation, hot pursuit operation, in order to neutralize them. So wherever there are terrorists, right, kidnaps do happen. So Borno is not an isolated location.
Well, Prof, I'd like you to speak to these concerns. There are those who believe strongly that this was more of a ransom payment and negotiation with the terrorists to get these people back. What do you have to say to them?
If it is more than ransom, if it is more than that, then what is it? The Boko Haram insurgency started as a result of ideological mindset of a few individuals who started the campaign. But those individuals have gone. The Boko Haram insurgency has since transmuted into a big business. So that is what is going on right now. And there is no other explanation. But, public issues are subject to discourse.
Right.
Other people may bring their arguments, but as far as we are concerned, we are dealing with criminals who are out to vandalize, criminalize, and, terrorize our people.
Yeah. So,
and we are not going to reach on our oars.
Indeed. So my question is, in order to rescue these children, it's been said that ransom was paid and the terrorists were negotiated with. So this is not like a rescue mission. This was more of a ransom was paid and they said, okay, come and get these people. Those are the people I'm asking you to speak to, those issues that have been raised about ransom paid.
Who paid the ransom? And the ransom was paid to who? Where is the evidence? We are the operatives on the ground. There was no ransom payment. There was a daring military operation with intelligence support from the DSS that led to rescue our 360 citizens. That is the fact on the ground. If there are any counterfacts, then you can pursue that.
All right. It's important to lay these things out and ensure that all the sides are covered. But I'd like you to speak to the numbers as well. So earlier on, it had been said that 416 were abducted. In fact, numbers, videos were put out saying the terrorists were parading or showing the 416 abducted. So I'd like you to speak to that number. 416 was what some had put as a figure, and now 360 rescued. So did some escape, or it was never 416?
We have 416. A few escaped. We have information to the effect that few tried to escape, and in order to dissuade them, the terrorists shot one or two of them. Those that escaped, not all of them returned home. Some of them went to other locations. But the balance, critical mass of the balance of 360 may still be with the terrorists, and the armed forces are working hard to rescue them as well. Don't forget, we also have 48 children that were kidnapped from Musa in Askira local government area. We are talking about two local governments side by side, Goza local government and Askira local government. Goza, Ngoshe, where the 461 were kidnapped, and in Musa, Askira local government area, where 48 were kidnapped.
So what does this do?
So that's the number.
Pardon? Right. So I'm glad you've cleared that out. So some may still be in captivity from the 416, separate from even the 48 that were kidnapped in school. But spending 3 months, because March, April, May, some days in June, in terrorist captivity, certainly does something to you. You are spending a full term, literally. The term that will have been spent in school was spent in terrorist captivity. So there are fears of possible indoctrination, God forbid, brainwashing, but also the psychological impact of that. I'm wondering, how is the state planning to handle all of this? Because it's great to hear they've been rescued, but there's a lot of work to be done.
Yes. With regards to the 48 children of Musa, not all of them were school children. The fact shows that after catching some school children, they also went into the town where they, also, kidnapped children that were as young as 1 year old, 2 years old, that were not of full age. It's a very painful situation. We can only imagine the pains of the parents and the communities. We are all in mourning. In order to forestall future occurrence, and also in order to take care of we have a lot of school children right now in Musa. The state government took a decision to relocate them to nearby schools, and they are in school right now. So it's only the Musa victims that are out of school, and as soon as they are released, we are going to organize emergency tutorials for them to enable them catch up, inshallah.
Okay, there's just one more before we wrap up, and this is also a very critical part of the conversation, and it's about the long-term security and stability of areas that are often attacked in Borno. You mentioned Askira Uba, there's Gwoza, there's Beni Sheikh, Malam Fatori. What's the outlook of security in these areas? And the Mandara Mountains, what more enduring can be done to ensure that, these terrorist elements are all eliminated? What's the nature of security in these areas?
Well, there is an ongoing bilateral security operation, tactical operation between the United States of America and the Nigerian Armed Forces, and that has led to huge success. The full details of the victory will be out very soon, but we have seen that the terrorists have already been smoked out of their safe enclaves in the Lake Chad, in the Tumbus, And also the Mandara Mountains and Two Triangles are also being targeted for decapitation missions. And a lot of the terrorists have already been eliminated from the interim reports that we have. Those that are able to escape, they are also being pursued by the armed forces. So in addition to that, the multinational joint task force of the Lake Chad, a security complex of the Lake Chad Basin has also commenced an operation, and the operation is ongoing. So in the fullness of time, this madness will be a thing of the past, inshallah.
Well, we can only hope that that is the case, and in fact, it gets better than that from there. There are more aspects to, explore with you, Professor, including how these terrorist elements, are able to recruit children into their camps. But we'll leave that conversation for another time, and of course, for you and the administration to reflect on. Professor Usman Tar is the Commissioner for Information in Borno State. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.